Alright, time to learn how Carmelita arrived in this place.
No good lying. Ugh. I should have tied his mangy tail around his neck. I should have blasted that smug look right off his face. I should probably just finish my story.
Okay.
After the Cooper gang escaped at the museum, I decided to follow my nose and take a look around. I'd been investigating the trading of stolen antiquities on the black market, but I'd never guessed that two-faced ringtail was involved.
He wasn't.
Then as I turned the
Well,
corner,
he sort of
I was
was, but
stunned
not
to
the way
see a
you
huge
think.
stash of stolen treasure right there in the museum. And even more shocking, Cyril Le Paradox
There you go,
himself
that's our main
unloading
villain,
them.
a French
I couldn't
skunk.
believe it. The billionaire art collector and museum
More on him
patron was
later.
behind this? I was so surprised that by the time I reacted, his goons already had me covered.
Really?
That slimy sawed-off runt had me thrown into some vile machine. And the next thing I knew, I was playing cowboys and criminals. The Old West? Time travel? It was completely loco. Sure, Le Paradox had done some time in his youth.
Wow, Carmelita, you're sure speaking with more Spanish dialect.
Never considered him a suspect.
I mean,
It's
might
a
as
change.
well.
Rumors about the source
So
of
much
his
so
wealth,
that some people
but nothing
argue
had ever
she's
been
kind of
proven.
flanderized
Now,
into
I
being the
knew I saw
hot-tempered
them.
Latina of the
And of
group.
course, Cooper
Oh,
and
isn't
his
her
little
character
friends
kind
were
of
involved
Latina
somehow.
anyway?
Yeah.
Well, yes. Her character is Latina, but she wasn't like spouting all this
That tried to feed me some
Spanish
story
dialect,
about having to
and
rob
well,
the
her temper
museum.
wasn't as
No,
high as
she's
it is
not
in
putting
this.
every
I was
single
done listening to
sentence,
that
though.
liar. I needed to get back to Paris.
And she just destroyed the katana.
Toothpick had stolen Murray's van, and Bentley's time machine along with it. I finally cracked the case, and now I was stuck in this lousy dust bowl with the Cooper gang. I don't know what made me angrier. Not being able to bust the lowlife skunk, or being trapped here with that lying ringtail. Ugh.
Yeah, no.
You lied
The
too.
only bearable thing about this whole mess was that at least Cooper's ancestor was a gentleman.
No.
He's still. Wait. I'm so...
Moving on.
Yeah, that's not the last time.
She's keeping it in the family, you know.
That is not the last time she will do it in this game either.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I'll just say this: I really do not.
This.
Carmelita is so out of character in this game.
Well, anyway, it's
It doesn't even make me angry, it's just laughable to me.
Oh, yeah, sure.
Anyway, the important stuff is that Toothpick has also stole the van, which means no time machine, unless, you know, we recover it.
First, we're going to have to catch it, and we'll do that by diverting its route. After surveying the rail system, I've determined there are 3 key track switches we will need to throw, and Toothpick has entrusted the keys to 3 of his toughest henchmen, Wildman Wiesner, Frenchy Lestage, and Red-Eye Robles. Furthermore, these guys keep the keys around at all times. The good news is that during the Toothpick Appreciation Festival, there are a number of contests.
So yeah, basically much like with the Canada episodes, like Joe mentioned a couple of parts ago, we're having, you know, contests to participate into. And this time we don't even have to cheat.
Sly, I hope you're feeling fast because you're going to be competing in the crookedest race in the West, the Toothpick 500.
Wouldn't it be more Murray's thing? Yeah, whatever.
Murray did has to compete with the punching stuff while Sly is doing instead the race.
True,
While
yeah.
Carmelita will do the shoot-up.
He keeps the trophy close by with the 3rd key inside. Now let's get going. We don't have any time.
It's weird
to waste.
because racing was always Murray's thing. Now, granted, yeah, it's
That's
more.
because we're not using the van, yeah.
True.
Oof.
Bang.
Oh, he's already dead.
Yeah, I might as well explain a bit. Even the animal selection for the guards in this timepiece also makes sense with, you know, the cows, the jackalopes, and the coyotes. Also, that's Nolan North as the boxer announcer.
Yeah.
Again, that's another thing. Again, Nolan North is instantly recognizable no matter how much he tries, sadly.
Need no real introduction. Weighing in a little more every minute. You're howling hard, the coyote.
Alright, the simple type of mission, beat the shit out of everyone.
Well, the wonder people lost. They had to go 1 on 4.
No.
1 on 20.
Yeah, it's actually 1 on 20.
And this is before they actually are allowed to face the champion. This is like the warm-up.
This is the warm-up. I dread to see what the main event's like.
You'll see.
It's like, it'd be like if before you got to fight Dr. Eggman, you had to fight a combination, you had to fight like the Death Egg with like 65,000 tank turrets on the end.
Or like before fighting Dr. Wily, you had to reface all the Robot Masters. Oh wait.
Or before you fought Bowser, you had to fight like, I don't know, Satan.
Okay, to be fair, that's something that okay. While not specifying Bowser, if I okay, something like that kinda happens in one of the ABGN games. Though I swear it also happens in I Wanna Be the Guy. Also, yes, occasionally people throw shit in the ring to try to hit you, but the consolation is that you can actually break them for extra money and help pick up.
I'm so glad I'm not in that ring right now. People throwing shit at me. If you did that in wrestling today, you get thrown out of the building.
Alright, this one is a bit trickier because Nitronofas is not only the champ, but also, again, lackeys. And it's not just a matter of simply just punching him, you have to wait until he attacks and then counter.
Wow, they're still taking advantage of the whole there aren't any rules except win
Pretty much.
stipulation here.
It's almost as if all of these people are criminals, dude.
I mean, what next? Is the next fighter gonna have a gun to shoot the guy to win?
Nobody sucker punches the Murray.
Ah, get it.
TKO! You got it, Murray! Now get the key!
There we go. Next up, I think it's, Sly.
I want a rematch.
Because that's how many racers have lost their lives. Also, the course has several checkpoints that you'll need to reach in time to stay in the race. Speaking of which, the only way you're gonna move fast enough is to use that ball. You're gonna need to stay on it the whole race.
So basically, switch the costume accidentally, you need to start over. The race is not that long, so it's manageable.
That's how I roll.
Ah ha ha ha.
You knew it was coming.
It's still not less painful.
Why do I feel like I'm back in prison?
Because you're wearing
Those
a
kinds of
prison
jokes they
outfit.
made in the other games.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. A lot of the humor in this game does not land as much as it did in the previous games.
Well, no, what I said, Jerva, was these kinds of jokes were in the other games.
No, they were not as bad.
Really? I don't think they were bad, they were just kind of there. Yeah, that's something I've been finding a lot recently with this game. A lot of things that that the rest of you, one or two of you guys anti-hype up as being like the worst thing in the series, I just find to be kind of average.
That's you in general, though.
Yeah, that's like, you know how a lot of people find what considered good things overhyped? The inverse is kind of true with me. Everyone says how something's like the worst thing ever, but when I watch it, it's not very good, but it's not that.
You have to keep in mind, Wibbs, that there's perspective. You are not really a fan as much as others may be of this, so of course, to you, some things may not seem as bad without, you know.
Well, I can tell you
That's
this,
how he loses
Jova, I
his
don't.
key, because he
I can
pounds
tell you
it
this, Jova,
heavily.
for me, since I actually do care about these games. I don't like the puns in general, but I don't think the quality has changed that much.
Oh, well, yeah, just that it's the weakest. Anyway, here we are for the final one.
Hold everything, we got ourselves a latecomer. Let's see what this pretty little lady
Alright, this is against the rule. Oh, no, wait, there is a
What have we here?
Little lady, I know you can't be here.
Also, that's time Regal doing this guy.
Man around these parts can stand up to me.
I see what you mean. I can barely stand you myself.
Ooh.
But if you're scared of losing, I understand.
Well, I just won the competition, so you're too late. But I'll tell you what, I'll make you a deal.
You can compete
You
next
just go
year.
right ahead, sweet thing. If you can beat my score, you get this here trophy. But if you lose, you gotta give me a kiss. What do you say?
Oh no, the horror.
Breath smells like fermented gym socks.
Ew.
Carmelita, we don't have a choice.
Yeah, Bentley, that's
All right.
like,
I'll take
whatever.
you.
That's also another
Actually,
thing.
why not just shoot him? Like, her gun is electric and all that.
There's literally no one else to win this.
Yeah.
Nobody will know.
In fact,
And
you know,
it's not like Toothpick, wants the fight to be fair anyway.
and
so.
besides, that's kind of what Carmelita would do in the previous
Well,
game.
she's using the gun now.
That being said, I kind of like these kind of shooting gallery mini games. So at least there is that. We just need a better reason to have it.
Like, here's how Carmelita in the original trilogy would have handled it. She would have just shot the guy and then taken the key. You know, kind of like what she did in Sly 3.
Guys in for an unpleasant surprise.
Again, like Tia said, this mini game is nice, it just needed a better reason to happen. It's kind of like the Mr. Freeze boss battle in Arkham City. Awesome boss fight, but man, story-wise...
Terrible way to start it. It's kind of like a lot of fights in the Mortal Kombat, new Mortal Kombat timeline games, but just particularly more MK9, where it just happened because like someone mildly irritated, like Jax versus Johnny Cage.
Yeah. Oh, and of course he attached the key to the bottom of the trophy.
What an idiot. Well, at least they got the keys anyway.
Okay then.
You.
And we get Murray's victory.
Because it's the one we started the mission with.
Sure.
Alright, time for the great train heist.
The clock is ticking on this one, so we don't have time to monkey around. Toothpick's gold train is already rolling, and with the incorporation of our van, it's virtually impossible to stop. Thankfully, Tennesse was able to divert the train's route, which gives us the chance we need to catch it.
Maybe we didn't do that in a mission,
Murray,
but
you're
oh
going
well.
to get the van back. It's positioned near the rear of the train, acting not unlike a booster rocket. It's going to take your considerable fighting skills just to reach it. The catch is that it's being secured with a set of special magnetic locks, which can only be broken by someone of your immense strength. Once the van is free, you'll be able to catch the train and pick each of us up as we complete our tasks. Carmelita, you and I will tackle the next set of cars. I need you to use your peerless marksmanship and cover me while we make our way forward. It won't be easy. The train is crawling with guards, and they'll be gunning for both of us. Our goal is to reach a computer terminal near the middle of the train, where I'm going to do a little
more advanced
hacking.
than just those
As we already
slides.
know, Toothpick
Already
cannot
mentioned that.
stand
Although
the
sadly we kinda lose the Bentley name dropping the operation is left in the title there. It's not that big of a deal, but you know, kinda miss it.
Finally reach him. Sly and Tennesse, you're up next. To ensure we stop Toothpick, we'll need to cover all possible escape routes. So Sly, you'll take the roof of the train. Tennesse, you'll move through the cars, where we should be able to reclaim your gold along the way. But your gunslinging will definitely be put to the test. You both should reach the engine around the same time, where you can take Toothpick
So we can have our boss fight. I
The
mean,
rest of us will
take
catch up
on
with you in the van.
Toothpick.
One last thing. Don't forget we're a team, and that's the only way we're gonna be able to pull this off. Everyone needs to execute their part of the plan perfectly if we're going to get the van, steal the gold, and stop Toothpick. Now
What
let's
could
move out.
possibly go wrong?
Well, we'll see.
Shows up.
Also, sorry, the music cuts out there here again.
Oh well.
Yeah, such a big build-up only for it to get caught.
Well, okay, it's not inherently the game's fault, just probably either my console or just the fact that it's digital only. Alright, the first thing that you need to do is do not punch it like I tried to do.
It's get electrocuted.
Yeah, but instead grab, there you go, the TNT barrels and throw it at the magnetic lock, which thankfully will not actually damage the van. I don't know how that works.
The van is made of adamantium.
I guess. Also, one thing that I noticed, because it was also showcased in the briefing, the van actually does have a European license plate, which again, I get the idea that the base still uses Paris as base of operation in general.
Well, yeah, I mean, also considering how, they mentioned that they all come from Paris, yeah.
Well, no, you, Jova, did, well, in general, we did question, what would be their original nationality, or at least where they grew up, where they grew up. Because again, the games do not actually explain. Mind you, it's not like a detail that I need desperately to know.
Well, okay.
But
if I recall correctly, where they grew up was America. It's just that they reside in Paris for their main stuff. Probably because Arsène Lupin and all that.
Yeah, probably that. Alright, next up is Carmelita, which has to basically clean up the passage. Yeah, let's use this.
Gold.
You really should think of it as correcting history.
True, yeah.
Yeah, that's also another weird thing. Carmelita basically has a much more chill out like friendship with Bentley for some reason. Even in the previous game, it wasn't even like, it wasn't very... I don't even think they interacted actually with each other. But now they're just, like, cool, I guess.
I mean, I've already pretty much made it clear that there's definitely a feeling of disconnect in the writing here. This just
again, regardless of what she feels about Sly, it just feels odd when she said to be just chill about Bentley. Maybe Murray, because she did interact with him in the second game, that kept him prisoner in Canada for a while.
Maybe there was a scene missing where she becomes more friendly with Bentley. Or maybe she's just doing it to try...
No, it kind of starts from the beginning. Remember, as soon as Tennesse frees her, she does, and he mentioned drops Bentley, she did actually act a bit more concerned, and she does listen to him when instead he proposes stuff after they arrest her from the prison, sorry.
And I don't know, maybe story-wise she's just doing it to annoy Sly because Lord knows she does a lot to annoy Sly in this game. Otherwise, I don't know what to tell you. The game's
alright, it's time for an alter ego section.
Yeah.
So actually I didn't ask Jova, which particular type of the hacky minigame do you like, or at least tolerate the most?
Definitely not
of this game particularly.
Definitely not the 6-axis one.
Gee, I wonder why.
I think this one. It's the most straightforward. That's not to say that whatever we're calling those other...
Yeah, the standard station. This one in structure resembles more Gradius, because even the whole goop that you have to destroy does resemble some of the Gradius games.
But yeah, I mean, I guess I like this one the best because it is arguably the most straightforward. Not to say that that's a knock against the standard one, but this feels like the one that you can breeze through the most. Like, I mean, I won't deny, I don't exactly play the Sly games for the hacking stuff. But they're nice, yeah, it's just, the hacking stuff isn't really my thing in Sly games.
Sure.
So I kind of like the stuff I'm able to breeze through the best.
Also, you get this like sexy voice telling you most of the time about security breach and stuff.
Considering how much he idolizes Penelope to the point where he has her photo on his OS, kind of makes you wonder why he didn't program Penelope's voice to be for the AI.
I get the idea that, okay, considering their relationship, I get the idea that he might try to do that once and she just said to him no. There we go. There's also a particular trophy if you manage to arrive at the end of one of these levels without getting hit once, if I recall correctly.
Of course.
Or, okay, I don't remember if it's either that one or one that you manage to arrive without having to level up once, like, in order to demonstrate how you can beat a level without power-ups.
Say bye-bye to your bios. Say bye-bye to your bios.
You just, okay, the repetition of the line is getting a bit annoying. It's weird because normally it's not that that kind of obvious, but in repetition. But for this one, he just decided to repeat immediately the same line.
You know, it's funny with the glasses. He looks like a fusion of Raphael and Donatello.
And yeah, there probably was some intention, although it's supposed to resemble more Rambo, obviously.
Hack complete.
There we go. Yeah, surprisingly enough, one weak point with Toothpick has are his heroes, so...
His ears.
There we go. So next up is Tennesse, who has to steal back all the gold.
Yet another system falls before my skills. Go get it, boys. About time. My trigger finger is twitching.
Of course.
Honestly, I could see a spin-off series based off of this character. It would work.
Honestly, I wouldn't mind a series that focuses on the ancestors in general, across time.
I wonder if maybe that's one thing that SCWRM may have done if they gotten the green light for a sequel. Aside from the obvious thing, but yeah. Honestly, but yeah, a sort of Assassin's Creed, but with the Cooper lineage.
I mean, I can see it working, to be honest. It's just that, again, the way the movie and then the supposed series are constantly in limbo and there is literally no communication at all, it's just frustrating.
I get the feeling that people just don't know what to do with Sly these days. Like, it says something that the best thing that's been done with Sly lately was showing up in a promo picture for Ratchet & Clank Rift Apart.
Actually, I think that it was fan-made, Java.
Well, you know what I mean, though. It was part of the promotion. Like, Insomniac themselves pretty much say they sponsored that picture, if you get what I mean.
Anyway, there we go. Do it for another 2 wagons, if I recall correctly, and you're good to go.
Yeah, that is the thing. Like, ever since this game, nobody seems to know what to do with Sly. The movie was... Okay, there was a chance that the movie could have turned out good. A lot of people did not get good first impressions from that trailer.
Yeah, I wasn't particularly fond of some designs. Sly's design was probably the best of a bunch. But again, they did the unthinkable scenes when it's done with characters like Bentley. We do get to see his eyes under the shades. You just don't do that.
And
like with Eggman in Sonic 06.
And then there was Murray's design.
Ugh.
Ugh.
Do I ask, or...?
Okay, it's best if I actually did show you a picture later on, Shirai. But to put it bluntly, again, they were trying to push a more, I guess, Pixar-esque, more highly detailed type of 3D animation, which just doesn't really work with these kind of characters, especially when the series is all being about the cell shading.
It makes Murray come off as just a more morbidly obese fat guy as opposed to, his strong fat sort of thing.
This not to mention that the overall colors were kind of toned down, so the pink and the green of Murray and Bentley were also a bit more, just melding with each other.
That said, the most frustrating thing I found about that trailer is that it doesn't tell us dick about the movie. Like, so you put out
it's kind of like the trailer of the first trailer for the Ratchet & Clank movie. It's a technical showcase of demonstrating something that the characters are known to do. In their cases, trying to escape after a heist.
That's the thing, though. It's a bad sign when all we have is a teaser trailer from God knows how long ago, and we still don't know what the plot of that movie was supposed to be. Was it going to be an origin thing?
I
Was
actually
it going
don't
to be
know.
an adaptation of the original? Yeah, none of us know.
Come to daddy. Okay, Tennesse. We'll grab the rest once we stop the train.
So it's time to confront Toothpick.
Yes, you're almost there.
Time to pay old Toothpick back for stealing the gold I should have took. I'm gonna wipe that smirk right off Toothpick's face.
Just don't, yeah, there you go, don't drop your hat, Tennesse.
It's okay, it's glued onto his head amazingly.
Why don't you bring your little runt self down here and take your whooping like a man, Sheriff?
Oh, blast you! Tennesse Kid Cooper! I'm gonna lock you in the deepest, darkest hole, and I'm going to throw away the key!
Why not just
Give it
kill
up,
him?
Toothpick.
Yeah,
That
whatever.
lady is sung and you are done.
Oh, am I?
Really?
Like, again, contrivance for the sake of it.
And it happens every level.
Paradox sends his regard!
Okay, well, at the very least, with the third game, if I recall, sorry, with the third chapter, at the very least, they give us the decency of arriving with the cane already stolen. So there is that.
Yeah.
Alright, time for the boss fight. The boss fight is fine. Not like the best ever of the game. I still prefer a bit stuff like that happen, but it's still fine. You need to use the ball and chain in a creative way. First destroying the pavement laser and then compressing the valves so that Toothpick gets dizzied from the high screeching of the valves.
Okay, I'll say this.
All the while he's throwing shit at you.
While the jail costume is nice, for the most part, I do feel that it feels a bit clunky for the boss fight.
Mm-hmm. Jesus. It's not even over like that. You first need to dodge his stomping move.
Try jumping those small whirlwinds.
And then he creates whirlwinds by moving the hat. Interesting
course.
enough. Again, Mega Man, I guess, like boss. Ow. Thankfully, there you go. Then you need to use the jailbird costume to push him into the furnace, Jesus, and then start attacking him.
He's fine.
If anything, you have to do multiple times. Also, that wasn't still what the sub said. Again, it seems to be more common in this chapter than in the rest of the game. I wonder what happened.
Just accept the mistake at this point.
It's not even like a typo
Or
shit, right?
laziness. I
Again,
don't know.
it's not even a typo,
think
it's
so,
just
really?
literally words missing.
Have I missed anything story related?
Tennesse got his cane stolen by contrivance.
So, nothing interesting.
I mean, it's still essential, but yeah, it's still not that much interesting, I guess. Especially
Hey.
because, again, how the cane is broken.
Hey, just stick around for the other chapters and you'll pretty much see the same scene happen again.
Again, like I said, I think some chapters have the courtesy of, not having that and already arrive with the gang arriving after the fact is done.
Now's your chance.
Still doesn't change
But
the
it still contributes to what Joel was saying before. We did manage to recover Tennessee's cane at first, only to have it, getting stolen again right before the climax.
Yeah. It kind of makes it feel like a lot of our work was for naught. Oh, whatever.
It's more to represent again the chaotic nature of the whole time travel shenanigans, how the two factions are trying to compete against each other. The problem is that again, the Paradox seem to have just the better hand.
And
here.
that's the thing. With how much of a doofus the Paradox is, I don't buy it for a second. He says that for the third time.
Yeah. Thankfully it's the last, if I recall correctly. Hey, at least Peter McConnell does actually give an actual proper fitting Western live music. Again, I get the idea that he's the one that enjoyed the most working on this game. And it's not like he hasn't...
It's been a while since the other ones.
Well, to be fair, it's not like he was workless, jobless for all this time. He actually still did some stuff, and he did after this game. So there is that.
He's not being burned alive.
Let out some
He'll be
steam.
fine.
Toothpick. It's an armadillo, not a shrimp. Or an octopus. That's what you're concerned with?
Well,
Yes.
well, look at what the cat drug in. Looks like this here's our stop.
Wait, we got a real.
Yeah, here's the thing.
I think I just took care of that.
Game where
Hold
story
on.
where a big set pieces of the train.
Yeah, for some reason, Toothpick decided to head the train, again, Back to the Future freestyle, towards a broken bridge.
Why?
I have no fucking clue.
Because this thing always happens in movies like these.
Murray, hit the brakes.
They're not working.
Of course they're not working.
Shut down the rockets.
What? You idiots! You called this a plan? Ugh, I knew this was a bad idea. I knew
I
it.
don't
Not
see
the
you
time.
doing much to help.
We need an emergency catalyst.
Like this.
What in tarnation are they doing? And I was just wondering where that gold had got to.
Huh. Priorities.
Sorry, Murray. This has to work.
Oh, yeah, again, for contrivances.
Here goes
So, again, the animation will tell, but essentially, Bentley did grab Murray's necklace, the one that he got from the Guru,
As the van
and used that
hurtled
as a
into the ravine,
catalyst.
It felt like we were in
As for
slow
where it
motion.
takes
Also,
them,
Zack Snyder
Thoughts
took
that our
over.
adventures were over flashed through my mind as I braced for the crash. Then, in desperation, Bentley grabbed the closest thing at hand, Murray's Australian fossil necklace, and used it in the time machine. He saved our lives.
Due to the
But
year,
now, we had no idea where we were headed. We held on as
Australia,
the van was
maybe?
sucked through the wormhole.
You'll
tumbling
see.
Well,
around like
the better
a cork
question,
in the
Lips, is
ocean.
when?
Who knew where we'd land?
2012.
And more importantly,
Okay, here's another thing, which will become more so also apparent in at the beginning of the next chapter. Someone in the development team really enjoyed the Ice Age movies, because the next chapter is set into that kind of era. So stay tuned for that, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah.